Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Ulysses, so from Trend Micro. Welcome to our session from reactive to proactive threat hunting. So let me just ask this question: how can we be more proactive and not reactive to threat hunting? Detection is very important in helping us make good decisions in cybersecurity. The CISO and the SOC team, they need to see the big picture, and react faster to anything that happens in the network. So, but how can they detect faster and respond completely, if they are dealing with exponential amounts of security detections, from different layers or silos? The good news is that there are ways, for them to respond faster and become proactive. So first, let me share how everyone want to understand the threats. Most customers can fit into three scenarios when it comes to security, maturity, and investment. So in the first scenario, customer one, this is typically a very large organization with a very mature security processes. They're very security minded, well funded, from an investment and resource standpoint. So they likely have an established SOC, no? Meron din silang multi-layered XDR capability. They also probably they do have an SIEM and API integrations, across products with their environment, within their environment. So definitely they have the capability and success from threat detection and response standpoint. Well, the reality is most customers don't fit into scenario one, or most will fit in customer two or customer three type of scenario, where they face multiple challenges, like they don't have an SOC, but they have a couple of security teams, that is responsible for doing the SOC type responsibility. They don't have the same budget, and resource, like the customer one, but perhaps they have invested in SIEM, but it's likely not provided the value and the benefit, that they were hoping. Probably they were overwhelmed, with the data that is being thrown at them. Having challenges finding out what's critical and needs attention, in the environment. So from an XDR perspective, position an XDR platform in customer one will be able to improve their efficiencies and effectiveness. But the customer two and three, they want the capabilities of the customer one. So our goal with the XDR is to help customer two and customer three achieve the maturity of the customer one. So, and for the level one security analyst to have the effectiveness, of a level two analyst. So let's look at the environment a little deeper. So in a lot of companies today, the security analysts tasked with a very heavy responsibility, to identify threats in their environment. They have EDR, which gives them a depth of visibility of what's happening on the endpoints. But usually, it's not tied up to the other layers. Then a separate silo naman, view of a network security alerts and traffic analysis. And for the cloud workloads, limited visibility threats, affecting cloud workloads as well. And despite email is the number one threat vector, a little visibility, into undiscovered threats already in their user mailboxes. So you have all this silo view, and even if they have SIEM, what's happening in many cases is it's just generating a ton of alerts, but not necessarily providing the full context or correlation with other events. So the SIEM has advantages in terms of centralized visibility and being the place where all the detection logs come into, no? But there can be a weakness, no, in terms of correlation, being able to tie the alerts together, no, to identify an incident. And a lot of it is just alerts, no? This makes it difficult to decide what's important and how alerts are related. So according to the survey, no, conducted by the CSA, only about 23.2% no, of threat alerts were real. So meaning that 76.8% were all false positive. No? And according to the same survey, 31.9% of analysts don't pay attention to alerts, no, anymore because of the sheer number of false alarms. 25% or 25.9% get more alerts than they can handle. So the XDR approach delivers faster detection and response across the whole environment. No, it's what the XDR provides. It breaks down the silos, correlates all this sort of individual alert noise, and build and tell an attack story. No? So Trend Micro Vision One platform or XDR gets telemetry from endpoint, email, cloud, server, and network, no, using automation, big data from smart protection network and other techniques, no, and external sources, no, to build the story view, no, and save time, no, for the SOC, no, to doing the investigation. This enables security team to detect threat faster, more easily, no, understand what happened and shut down an attacker sooner. So this can give you an idea of what the approach is, no. So this is the stats, no, we got from the security analytics engine of Trend Micro Vision One. We took aggregated data across our customer base, no, over a period of time, and we filtered it down. No? The aggregated data that we filtered is for a single company with 1,000 devices, no, in 24-hour period. So first thing to note here is the activity data that we are collecting is massive, no, and really deep. 137 million raw logs collected and processed in 24-hour period, no. We distilled it down to 40 million logs, no, that are identified as valuable to analyze, no. You can still see a 95,000 detection logs in SIEM after identifying what is valuable, no. But with Trend Micro Vision One, we filtered it down to 3. So those 3 alerts produces a workbench, no, where it shows multiple suspicious activities related to the same incident. No, so these are possibly maybe a spear phishing link or a rare web domain access, no, and so on. So with this filtered data, no, from Trend Micro Vision One, we will be able to improve your mean time to detect and of course your mean time to response because you'll be able to identify immediately. So each layers adds value. So the idea is for a customer to gain value of Vision One. So they don't need to have all the pieces, no, all the pieces. There is a value on each individual layer, no. So just on the endpoint alone, there is EDR value. So it's obviously as they add layers, no, it offers more opportunity for correlation, no, a broader perspective, no, and more comprehensive view. So endpoint is always a starting point, no. So pretty much basic security tool we have, no. But you also know email is the natural extension point, no, of endpoint. It provides more value when connecting endpoint and email together. So being able to understand who else received a malicious email, no, understand the compromised accounts, no, and looking inside those phishing emails. No? Another layer that are very valuable is the cloud workloads. No? Obviously, this is critical to business operations. No? What we can provide is correlation of data that's more than a typical EDR solution can provide. And then of course network, no? So this is the line or the bloodlines of the network. No, they have a network view, no, but it usually a network view of their endpoint agent. So it's usually agent lang, no? But there's a lot from network perspective that endpoints can see, right? So if you look at unmanaged devices or IoT, no, remember what Sir Mao mentioned a while ago about the fish tank attack. No, so we will be able to see also unmanaged devices or IoT, no, that you can have an endpoint agent on. No, so this is really provides a different perspective in terms of how an attacker may be moving across the organization. So let's see having an endpoint without EDR. No? So as you can see here, no, here is a screenshot from a Vision One platform where in this workbench, no, you will be able to see a correlation of event from multiple data sources. No? But since the data source is only endpoint without EDR, the detection is quite simple, very basic. No? It shows malicious file and the user info, no? And that's it. No? Now, having an EDR in the endpoint, no, it provides more information, no, of what happened on the endpoint. No? We have a better detection besides the executed malware and user info. So we are seeing more activity like PowerShell parameters, no, using CLI, no, to access a CNC domain, no. So medyo mas more details, no, or more detections we are getting now. Now, adding more another layers, no, or more layers, no, it means adding more data sources that will provide a more context of what we have detected on the endpoint. No? What really happens on the email, network, and cloud workloads, no, will also be correlated and analyze it for the users, no, or for the SOC team. No? So with additional layers, no, providing data sources from email, cloud, workloads, and networks, no, we can see a different perspective, no, of what really happens rather than having only a one piece of the puzzle or having only an endpoint detection only. No, so this detection has correlations and analysis. No, we can now see here malicious email received with a spear phishing, malicious was executed, and malicious file was executed. PowerShell command to access the CNC domain. So probably you'll be able to see the whole picture, no, from the start point up to the end point. So every time a new layer add in as a data source, no, or of visibility, so we have more data to process, no, greater correlation opportunity, and with broader visibility across attack tactics and techniques, no, we can achieve faster, no, of multi-stage attacks and increase our mean time to detect and respond. No? So each layer adds value. So how about response? No? So risk insights provides a deeper understanding of risks. No? It combines extended detection and response, no, or XDR, telemetry and analytics, along with extensive vulnerability and threat intelligence, no, to provide deep insights into identity and device risk, no, allowing security analysts to continually monitor the security posture of their organization, exposing unseen risks, no, to make better decisions. So this risk factor includes user accounts that display unusual activity. You know, those have been detected on the dark web, no, or that have been targeted by malicious email, no, or email campaigns, no, and maybe compromised, no. So on the risk factors tab, you may see account compromise, no. This will view the detected account compromise indicators, no, and the affected users and devices. There is also vulnerability detection, no, to view the detected at risk vulnerabilities, no, including details about the triggered rules. Anomaly detection, no, we can view here the abnormal user and device event detected. So you also have cloud app security, cloud app activity, no, we can view what are high risk cloud apps that were detected. So XDR detection, we can view naman the top 10 unsolved at risk alerts, no, and the top 10 at risk endpoints, no, with early attack indicators detection. So there are also threat detection. We can view a list of threats contributing to the indicators. Then there is zero trust insights. No, it provides zero trust secure access for user identity. No, zero trust actions allows you to directly respond to risk without leaving the Trend Microvision One platform. No? You can take specific actions, no, on users, yeah, and their devices, no, where you see device login activity and risk vulnerability found on that device, no, or their app or URL access activity manually or automatically based on risk status. There are response that may perform, no, like disable users, disable user account and force sign out, no, signs the use out of all active applications and browser sessions, no, of the user account. You may also perform force password reset, enable user account, isolate endpoint, and so on, no. So, and also what's the account login activity, no, you see the map here. You'll know the logins from several different locations in the world, no, and there's some potential brute force attacks going on. So in targeted attack detection, we can review attack exposure here. So in your environment, no, and follow steps to mitigate or prevent attacks as well, no. So targeted attack detection analyzes your data to determine, no, if there are certain indicators, no, or a signal, no, there's an ongoing attack, no, enabling you to take timely prevention, no, investigation, and mitigation across mitigation action, no, against the targeted attack campaigns, no. the the analysis helps detect targeted attacks, no, identify the attack campaign and provide steps to mitigate the attacks. So if an attack is not occurring, so targeted attack detection provides recommended actions to harden your environment against future potential attacks. Okay. Now, down to my last 3 slides. Allow me to share our positions, no, from different global market research company. So we are where we are now, no, our products in terms of Forrester positions. No? Endpoint and email are in leader position as of Q2 of 2021. And our cloud workload security is in leader as Q4 of 2019. And then the extended detection and response, or the XDR, we are position leader as of Q4 2021. So as you can see here, these are the data sources, no, from data sources from our XDR, no, or for the Vision One platform, wherein you get detections from different products, no, like in endpoint, email, and server. How about Gartner naman, no? For Gartner, we have 24% leading the market share in IDPS, no? And a leader for endpoint protection, no, as of Q2 of 2021, no? And for the Gartner 2021 market guide, no, for cloud workload protection platform, this CWPP, no, delivers a key list of recommendations, no, for securing cloud workloads, no, and Trend Micro meets all of 8, no, of their recommendations, no. Now for IVC, we are number one in market share for corporate endpoint security and number one market share for hybrid cloud workloads in 2020. So that ends my presentation. Thank you for your time and listening.